It is Monday, August 10th, 2020. I'm Pastor Thor Ramsey, and this is Gospel for Five, where we take 5 minutes out of our day and focus on the gospel and the one who saved our souls. Last week, we were looking at Galatians 5:6, which reads, "For in Christ Jesus," and we emphasize that's where the Christian lives their life from. So this is about the Christian life in Christ Jesus. Neither circumcision nor uncircumcision counts for anything, but only faith working through love. And the summary is that circumcision really represents a type of formal legalism, and uncircumcision really represents the idea of license. We can just do whatever we want now because we're forgiven. But the only thing that really matters is faith working through love. And then we ended with this idea that, and this isn't so much Christian, I should say evangelical teaching on the Christian life. It's a type of higher life theology. And in higher life theology, you always feel this way after a sermon generally. You feel like there are those Christians who've discovered the victory of the Christian life, and then there's you. You haven't discovered the victory of the Christian life. And that's kind of higher life theology. It's kind of a two-class system. Class A, first-class Christians and second-class Christians. And the way to become a first-class Christian is to do certain holy things. If I do these things, then I'll become holy. And if I become holy, then I'll be loved by God. If I'm a first-class Christian, they're clearly loved by God more than us second-class Christians. And I know when I'm holy, God will bless me. And the mentality behind that is really a lack of faith in the revealed person of Christ. It's really a lack of faith in Jesus himself, who he is and what he's done, because we're really striving through our own efforts, our own righteousness, to become acceptable to God, that we might finally be used by God, instead of just realizing the Christian life. There is no first-class and second-class Christians. There are only Christians who are progressively becoming sanctified in our relationship with Jesus Christ. But in that mindset, there's a great emphasis on doing and not so much on believing the right things in order that we might live the right way. And I would say there's the big difference in a ministry that is focused on pragmatism and a ministry that's focused on theology, is that in the pragmatic, you get a lot of the higher life theology that seeps in through the church. They might not call it higher life theology, but that's what it boils down to. Whereas in a theologically geared ministry, which is what we hope we have, of course, we want to do it right, but as much as we can anyway, but is that the emphasis is on believing the right doctrines, believing the right things about Jesus in order that we might live the right way. In other words, what we think of Jesus and what he's done and what he thinks of us will affect how we live in relationship with him, and that will affect how we actually live our lives and actually how we portray ourselves to others, how we portray Christ to others. The issue with the mindset striving to be holy in order to be accepted by God, in order to finally be blessed by God, is that it's taken up with the external without regard for the internal many times. Our external witness will mirror our inward state. That's the reality. Our external witness is going to mirror our inward state. So if we're always in this sense striving to become holier, to be finally accepted by God, to be finally blessed to be used by him, then if that's really our inward state, and that is going to express itself in our relationship with others. There's always going to be this sense that there's a striving. You ever been around someone, I just get the sense there's a war going on inside them. Now, in many cases, there's a war going on inside most of us. There's a spiritual war going on. But in terms of us resting in the gospel and just resting in the fact that all throughout our lives, we will progressively be sanctified. Never fully, and it's never just a clear uphill, climb. It is chaotic. It's jumpy. It's like life. But in the end, we look back and we see our progress. That's the whole idea. So don't think of first class, second class Christians, and there are people who have the secret to victory in Jesus. That really doesn't exist biblically, I don't believe anymore. All right, we're going to stop there and pick up tomorrow. What's God said to you today, and what are you